Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Strange things do happen in this world. So the message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? Currently, I am here in South Africa and I want to tell you everything that happened for me to be where I am right now. I got married to a man who was a good man, but with time, my husband, he then lost his job, my ex-husband. After he had lost his job, that was when he became so violent. I don't know if it was because of the lack of money, since he was unable to provide for his family. When I saw that my husband was now unable to provide for his family, luckily I knew this other lady who had a lot of shops at Gulf Complex, which is in Harare. So I went to her house and I spoke with her. She then said that she was going to try to make a plan for me. So she had a small market that she wanted to open up in an area that is called Southley Park. So after she had found a table there, she then started to sell a second-hand clothes and I started to work for her. Life was very difficult, and at the same time, my husband, he did not trust me. He thought that when I was at work, then I was going to start cheating on him, but I was not cheating on him. But my husband became so violent. It then happened that my husband and one of this other guy who used to stay in that same street that me and my husband were staying, they agreed to go to this area in Mazowe where there is a lot of illegal gold mining that is taking place. When my husband went there, when he came back, I saw that my husband, he was now smoking and he was now drinking a lot of beer, and then the violence kept on happening and he kept on beating me up until I ran away. When I ran away, even when I came to South Africa, my husband had actually damaged my right arm. It was really swollen, but I told myself that let me go to South Africa so that I can fight for my mom, I can fight for my kids. I just left my kids in Harare since I didn't have any money to send my kids back to the village where my mom is staying. I just spoke with this other woman and she knew my situation and she understood. And I said, when I arrive in South Africa, I then spoke with her and I said, if I arrive in South Africa safely and if God is going to bless me with a job, then I am going to send you some money so that you can go with my kids and you will leave my kids with my mom. So she agreed to take care of my kids. I traveled when it was during the lockdowns, and when I came to South Africa during the COVID-19 lockdowns, I started to stay with this other friend of mine. So whilst I was staying with her, it was really difficult for me to get a job because in those days most of the people, they were just staying at home. It then happened that there was this other woman whom she knew. So after she had spoken with that woman, she told that woman about me. Then the woman agreed to hire me. So this South African woman at that time, she had a 3-year-old whom she had with this other Nigerian man. At that time, the Nigerian guy was back in his country, but because he had been trapped there in Nigeria during the COVID-19. So when he came back, the first time that I saw him, like a man, there is a way that a man looks at you, whereby you will see that this man is lusting after me. So I ignored him. But with time, this man started to propose love to me, but I didn't want him at all. Then there was a time that he gave me some juice and he said, take this juice. I want you to drink this juice. After I had drank that fruit juice that he had bought for me, that was when I started to lust after him. Even when you will be walking, I will keep on lusting after him. Day when I was bathing, that was when I saw my boss lady's husband opening the bathroom door when I was busy bathing myself. And then he walked into the bathroom and I felt so weak, even though I wanted to tell him to get out, but I kept on looking at him and also lusting after him when he was removing his clothes. After he had removed his clothes, he then walked into the shower and we started to bath together. Then we made love in the bathroom. And after we had finished making love, he told me that he was in love with me. He also wanted to make me his second wife. So I agreed. This man, he then promised me that he was going to make a plan, because at that time I was only getting 2,800 rands a month. He just said, I am going to make a plan for you. Then there was this other day, since we were used to sleep with each other, this man, he then came to the spare bedroom which my boss lady had given me to sleep in. So I was just relaxing. Then he came and he sat on the bed with me. He took me and he made me to sit on his lap. Then the boss lady walked in and I got so scared, and I said maybe she's going to get me killed or something like that. But this woman, she just looked at me and she saw that I was sitting on her husband's lap. Then she got out. I was shaking with fear, but the boss lady then called me. So I went into the living room where she was sitting with her husband. To my surprise, like, she was not even angry. She was actually smiling at me. She made me to sit down, and after I had sat down, the boss lady then told me that I should not be afraid, for she was not going to do anything bad to me and she was not going to get me killed. In fact, she was actually happy. And I said, why are you happy? She then said that she could not handle a Nigerian husband all alone. She wanted someone who was going to assist her. That is why she had hired me in the first place. I felt so embarrassed when this woman told me that she wanted me to keep on sleeping with her husband, and they were going to increase my salary. Instead of giving me 2,800 rands a month, they were now going to double my salary. So I worked for this couple for 4 good months. But when I kept on sleeping with her Nigerian husband, what shocked me the most was that when I was on my period, I expected her husband not to come and sleep with me. So I informed the boss lady that tonight, please tell your husband not to come into the spare bedroom, for I am dirty. He cannot sleep with me. She then knew that I was on my periods, and she said, do you have any sanitary wear? Already I had bought my sanitary wear, and she said it is fine. So later on in the evening, when I was fast asleep, to my surprise, I then saw that my boss lady's husband was in my spare bedroom. So I woke up and I asked him if he had spoken with his wife. I said, did your wife tell you anything? He said, no, she did not tell me anything. What was she supposed to tell me? Then I said, today I am dirty. If you think that I am lying, come and touch. So I opened up my legs and he came and he started touching me, and he felt that I had a sanitary pad that I was wearing. Then he said, oh, you are on your periods. And I said, yes, I am on my periods. You cannot sleep with me. Then the guy said, no, it is fine. I just want to spend a night with you. I just want to spend some time with you. But please, can you go and bath? So I then went and I bathed myself. After I had bathed myself, he said, please take a bucket so that you can keep a bucket full of water here in your spare bedroom. So I did everything that he had told me. And after that, he said, do not wear any panty or any sanitary pad. And I started to protest, and I said, if I do not do that, I am going to mess up the bedding because I am on my period. He said, no, you're not going to do that. Come, let us sleep. So when I was in the blankets with him, the man, he started touching me and I felt so hot. I tried to stop him, but he kept on forcing me, and he said, we are not going to do anything. I just want to feel you, baby. And I said, it is fine. So he kept on touching me until I felt that the place where he was going to, it was not nice, because he wanted to place his head between my legs. So I stopped him and I said, what are you trying to do? He said, this is what I enjoy the most. Please let me do it. So this man, he was quite strong. The way that he was holding me, I did not have any power to remove him from where he had placed his head. He was actually lifting my legs up. This man, he then started to eat me down there. And after he had finished eating me down there, when he looked at me, it was really nasty because there was blood all over his mouth. And he said that this is what he enjoyed doing the most. So he did this until I had finished seeing my menstrual cycle. And each and every month for the 4 months that I stayed with this couple, this thing kept on happening over and over again, and until I felt so sick. I got so sick one day. I woke up and my legs were swollen. I spoke with my South African boss lady, and after I had spoken with her, she said, you do not have to go to the hospital because this thing, it is an African problem and it needs to be resolved using the African way. So my South African boss lady, she then told me that her husband was going to find this other Nigerian traditional healer who has so much power. The man then came and assisted me, but the way that this traditional healer was assisting me, he had these other small creatures that looked like spiders that he placed on my private parts. I actually felt those small creatures as they were creeping around my private parts. After that, he then removed them from my private parts and he started to sprinkle his charms on my body. And in that room that where I was sleeping, then I felt that I was a little bit much better. The following morning, my legs were no longer swollen. I was able to walk and to do my duties. When my bosses saw that I was now okay, then they left without telling me where they were going to. Since I had spent so many days without properly cleaning their house, I then started to move all the furniture and sweeping everywhere. When I moved the fridge, I then saw that at the back of the fridge, there was this other box. There was a small box that was there. And I took that box because I wanted to see what was inside that box. I had never seen so much money in my life. I said, okay, let me count this money. I wanted to see how much was it. When I counted it, I got so tired. I got tired after I had counted 80,000 rands and there was still a lot of money. This money, it was not bundled together. So I counted the money. Then I decided to steal this 80,000 rands. And after I had stolen this money, I said, should I run away? But I regret maybe I should have run away on that day. Maybe right now I'll be able to treat myself using that money. So after I had stolen this money, I then hid them in the couches, and that was when the boss came back with his wife. When the boss came back with his wife, he immediately went and took that box. Even though he had not counted the money that was inside that box, he said that there was money that was missing. They looked at me and they asked me if I had stolen any money. I pretended as if I was innocent, but that Nigerian man, he went straight to the place where I had hid this money and he took it and he said, you are a thief. We thought that we were going to assist you, but we can see that you are a thief. That was when I got fired. So after I got fired, I spoke with my friend who took me in and I started to stay with him. As for now, I am working, but I am not working permanently. The problems that I am facing is that I always see these men that come to sleep with me. These men, when they come to sleep with me, I will only see them after they would have finished sleeping with me. And if I try to use some things that I have been told that they will chase away the spiritual husband, when I wake up, I'll see that there will be a lot of semen that will be in my mouth. If they cannot have intercourse with me using my private parts, then they will have intercourse with me using my mouth. If I sleep on the bed, I know for a fact that these men, they are going to come and sleep with me. But when I sleep on the floor, then it gets a little bit better. Times I do not even sleep because I am scared that when I fall asleep, then these men are going to come and have intercourse with me, either using my private part or using my mouth. It is not a nice place to be, waking up and seeing that your mouth is full of semen. Yeah, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sisters. So that was the narration of a story. Just imagine as a woman waking up knowing that you went to bed alone, then you see that your mouth is full of sperms. And you know that you are alone in your bedroom. Your doors are locked, your windows are locked, but you wake up and you just notice that your mouth is full of sperms. What will you do? Strange things do happen in this world.